Rancho Grande, the Art Perko Orchestra, from the album Polkas on the Move. Well, that was when we were really in our magic trumpet Tijuana brass days.
Weren't you in your prime?
I don't know if we were in our prime, but speaking of recording, the Art Perko band, the original band with Roger, myself, Ray, and Bill, we're going to record 5 new songs on March 1st at Landmark Studios, and we're going to put out a compilation album, the best of all these 4 albums. There'll be over 70 minutes of music, and that will be done in time for our reunion weekend.
Wonderful. That sounds good.
Yeah, I already wrote a few nice songs. Yeah, like a couple waltzes are really very pretty.
Good. You're a composer too, huh?
Yeah, Artie's the composer.
Artie is? Yeah, he's the guy that does the composing.
Yes, he does.
Well, you're playing with
Tony Fortuna
tonight.
Yes, at Nottingham Tavern.
That's it. Tell us what time the music starts.
Music is 9 o'clock to 1, and Mickey, your gracious host, will be waiting for you at the door.
Yeah, with a shotgun.
With a shotgun. Yeah, Mickey does a great job of running that place, and
good promoter.
Thank God for people like Mickey.
That's right. Guy's got someplace to work.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right.
Speaking of work, hey, Al, you just can't work anymore, can you?
I can't.
Oh, geez.
You mean playing?
Playing.
No,
it's just what a shame, people. Yeah. Al is just. I know it's got to be chewing you up inside.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's.
You can't do a darn thing about it.
On to music. Al, if we can, we'll go to the last LP that the Perko band did together, and that's called Coming Out. And the song that we wrote for Eddie Adamick from Detroit, Michigan, who we had the pleasure to play for his and friends' wedding when they got married. And then we played for their anniversary, and we played for both of their children's wedding. We thought it was time we dedicate a song to them, and here's Adamick's Folk.
Entertaining Chardon, Newberry, and Clarendon. AM 1560 WATJ, where we play memories.
And we're back here at 1560 WATJ with the Polka Showcase. Your host, Al Markic, and our guest, Mike Dragas, bass player for the Art Perko band for how many years?
32.
32. That's a nice long stretch.
It was very comfortable.
Longevity.
I knew I had a home for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. I got to ask you, you played with Pecan?
Well, like
just once, or
just that one time. But I never took my eye off that band. It was a band I've always admired, and his sons are just doing a terrific job, John and Jeff, of keeping that band going in the tradition that Johnny set for it. Their music is just beautiful to describe it in maybe just one word. They don't overplay, they don't overpower anything. The rhythm is together. The breaks between parts are clean, crisp, and simple. And the best way to I always tell those guys, you don't have to be loud to be good.
That's right.
And now that Louis Trebar has been playing a lot with them, they just sound terrific. And I just wish they were able to play more public jobs so that I could get around to hear them now that I have the time to. But they are very busy with their day jobs, and it seems like it's very prohibitive for them to find the opportunities to play in public. But as long as I know where they're playing, I'm sure going to do my darnest to get there and hear these guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, you want to get a rise out of Jeff Pecan. All you do now that you're retired, you tell him, Jeff, keep working so I get my Social Security check. And he'll be calling pretty soon.
How we laugh about that now. In a couple of years from now, who knows where we'll be with Social Security.
In a couple of years, he'll be laughing too. Yeah. No, John Pecan was perfectionist.
Absolutely.
Great ear, great band.
Great ear. I mean, if you could tell a ninth from a seventh on a banjo,
yep,
that's one great ear.
You're right,
Absolutely.
because there's so damn little difference there. You're right.
On with the music, Al, if we can. Let's do a waltz, a beautiful waltz called Spanish Eyes by the Art Perko Band.
Fairport Harbor and Mayfield Heights. This is 1560 WATJ, where we play memories.
And we're back with the Polka Showcase and our guest, Mike Dragas. And Mike, what do you think about these new young bands coming up?
New young bands are, what are they, 40 years old now? Yeah, I'll tell you, we just love the Don Whitella band and the Harry Faint Review, your sidekick on Sundays. These guys do a wonderful job, and it's just nice to see that they're playing for what the people want to hear and dance to, and they just do a wonderful job. When the Art Perko band was going, that's one thing about Art. He always tried to help the younger bands, and when Donnie and his brother Danny were like 9, 10 years old and was just starting instruments, Art was always there to help them. And when we were doing the Polka Varieties TV show, we always made sure that we had them on the show with us as much as we can. And George Stadahar just had a great band when he came out from the service, and he does a great job with the Harry Faint Review right now. They're just a terrific band. Frenchies. It's the next song up on turntable 85. I've got to tell you, this place is loaded with equipment, Al. I've never seen a studio like this. This is better than downtown.
It is.
It's a song we did on the last album coming out with the Art Perko band. It's called Frenchie's Polka, and I think you'll find the melody a little familiar. It came from some movie, Al, from way back when. I don't even know what they called it. I think it was just background music in some French movie, and it's called Frenchie's Polka.
Okay, that finished that good tune. What was the name of that?
That was Frenchies, Al.
Frenchies. And how did you guys get started with Perko?
The Perko band, well, like I said earlier, it was Bill Thompson, Ray Sturley, and myself. We were with Joe Luger at the time, and Art had his own band, and we just wanted to do something different, and we went after Art, and we formed a band, and it took some convincing. Art was very reluctant to make the change from his band, of course, and I can understand why. And then we crawled up in Art's parents' basement up in Indian Hills in Euclid, and I'll tell you, a guy who was very instrumental in helping us along was Ray Christ from the Fairport Harbor Button Box Club. Ray was very instrumental. Ray pointed out to us that we could not be a copy of a Vadnal, Pecan, Habit, or Kenny Bass, that we had to have our own individuality. And he worked very hard to help us come up with the sound that we did. So we like to give Ray a lot of credit. Plus, I did a lot of work with Ray with the Art Walunas band. Ray and I would travel up to Detroit on weekends, and we did a lot of playing with Art Walunas when we weren't playing here in Cleveland. Ray, if people just know Ray probably from the Button Box, but Ray was probably one of the premier polka piano players back in the 60s and 70s.
I'll tell you, he's a very good musician.
Yes, he is, and a great person.
They had their own distinctive sound.
Absolutely, and of course, he came from St. Clair, and he had that pecan training.
Right.
But it was that's how that band got put together, and we rehearsed for about 5-6 months before we played our first job. I think our first job was White City Tavern on 140th.
Yeah.
And then the following Friday we played at Champa's on East 185th Street, and then we became almost a house band at Fritz's for a couple of years. And Fritz, if you're listening, I will always remember you, and God bless you, and Ruthie.
Serving Maple Country.
And good afternoon, Chardon in Northeast Ohio. Thanks very much for listening to 1560 WATJ. Your weather for today is cloudy with some snow flurries and a high of 32 degrees. Tonight, cloudy with some more snow flurries and a low of 21 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy and sunny later in the afternoon with a high of 34. And at 2:32, we have 30 degrees under cloudy, snowy skies at the home of America's popular favorites, 1560 WATJ, where we play America's popular polka and waltz favorites. And you're listening to the Polka Showcase with your guest, Mike Dragas, and host Al Markic. And Mike, we are back. And you had a phone call from a gentleman?
From Ray Christ.
Right, yeah. He stops down here once in a while.
It was so good to hear his voice. We go back to when we were all in a Twilighters club together, and I didn't have a chance to talk to Ray, but I've got his phone number. And Ray, if you're listening, start finding all that film from our outings and picnics and whatever we did, because the Twilighters, we'd like to put a reunion together with the old Twilighter members one of these days soon, before there's none of us left. So Ray, look up that film. We need it.
Our friend Frankie Yankovic, the Polka King, and sponsored by our good friend Andy Cashin over in North Madison on Dock and Lake Roads portion of Little Slovenia. And Andy has all the necessary things that you need for building, handrails, cement, concrete, the sand, whatever you need. Andy has got it, and we want to thank Andy for sponsoring this portion of the show. And we get back here, and this, of course, this album that we're playing here has been done by, it's on Cleveland International Records, and our good friend Steve Popovic is the man that's responsible for this. And like I say, Joey Miskulin is the guy that did all the good stuff here, all the arrangements. And we'll continue on. We just heard Silver-Haired Daddy before the news, and I Want to Call You Sweetheart coming up.
To deserve a lot of credit.
You're right.
For being sidemen for all these years, and it's like anything. It's a team, and no one man is an island. An accordion player is just an accordion player until you put 3 or 4 or 5 pieces behind him. Then he becomes a band.
And it becomes a good band.
And then he's a band leader.
Right.
And my hat goes off to all the sidemen out there that ever were sidemen and that are still sidemen. They're great people. They're great contributors. They're the silent partner, and they are always the team player. And The leader gets all the attention, which it's deserved.
Right.
They do a lot of work for the band that people don't realize. But when you're out at a dance or a polka affair, don't be afraid to go up to the drummer or the bass player or the sax player and just tell them that you appreciate what they do.
That's right.
So it would make them feel good.
Takes a ball team.
Nobody's getting rich in this business. It's really for the labor of love, and especially the bands that are putting out records. I'm going to tell you, people, it costs about $2,500 to $3,500 to put a record out today.
Gee, I should have known you. First one I put out cost me $10,000.
Well, somebody split up a lot of extra money there, Al. But it's a very expensive proposition, and there is virtually no return on it, and it's basically to preserve the music, and it's a promotional tool.
That's right.
But it also preserves the music that we all love so much.
That's right. Did you do any extensive traveling? You didn't go to Europe with any bands, did you?
I never had that opportunity because my day job in the recording industry was almost a 24-hour day job. I was gone from morning till night, and I just couldn't take the time to leave my job. And when I did have my vacation, my time was for my family. We vacationed for 12 years in a row as a family when the kids were young, and I'm going to tell you that, Al, that paid more dividends than the money I could have made traveling with the band anywhere. I can knock on wood and say, I don't have to knock on wood. The kids are growing up. It never caused me a problem or my wife a problem, and I give her all the credit for raising them while I was playing and doing my day job. She was home and took care of the kids. And really, all the wives in the band, the Perko band, our children were young at that time when we had that band cooking. We were playing 4 or 5 nights a week, everywhere and anywhere, and the women took care of our children, and they all raised great children. And I'd like to thank them all because maybe they think we never appreciated it, but we really did.
Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You can dedicate the next song to all of them.
Well, it's a female name. Al, what do you have up? We sort of got, you know what, it's like
Hopeful
Lovers Waltz. Yeah. I think that's an appropriate
that
title.
Sounds pretty good.
And it's a beautiful waltz written by Artie.
That's it, huh?
That's it, Al.
Right.
Let her rip.
We're going to send this out to all the gals. Huh?
All the wives from the Perko band, yes.
Okay. You
That
have
was Hopeful Lover as well, Al. If you're the sax parts, I've got to point that out. They were done by Bill Thompson, and actually on certain parts of that second part, Billy did 3-part harmonies, and this goes back to like the first Perko albums back in the '60s. Bill was the first to dub in second part horns, and now most of your bands today do the same thing, and we're very honored that people thought enough that it makes a pleasant song
It does.
even greater, and to use that technique.
makes a big difference.
It makes a nice difference,
Yes.
and Bill just does a beautiful job on it. And on 5 new songs that we're going to record with the Art Perko Band, Bill will take us into the 90s with an instrument called a wind controller. It's made by Yamaha. Basically, it's a computer that you blow into, and Bill gets some beautiful warm sounds, and you'll be hearing that on some of the waltzes we do. It just makes for something different, and I think people in the public should like it. It will add a lot of warmth.
Right, I've
to
heard
the
it.
waltzes.
I've heard him play it.
Yeah, you've
it's
heard
great.
him on a job.
Yeah.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
It takes the harshness that the sax would have on it. If you have a beautiful waltz, it tones it down an awful lot. And again, we'd like to remind everybody, if you're not doing anything on the 5th of April or the 6th, we'll be in Saigon, Pennsylvania, from 7 o'clock until midnight. On the 5th of April, we are taking buses from Cleveland with the Don Waitilla Band. And then in Cleveland, it'll be Rahar Hall on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock until 9 o'clock. And that'll be with the Don Waitilla Orchestra. And the Perko Band, we plan on doing a program for about an hour and a half, taking us from the very beginning and all through the years. And it should be very nice. We have some surprises planned on stage for the people in attendance, and I think it'll be a very memorable event. On with music, Al.
I'm looking forward to being at the one at Rahar Hall, I guess it is, isn't it?
Al, we want you there,
Yeah, I'd
because
like to stop.
you were a part of this band at the very beginning, and we would love to have you there, and also honor you and bring attention to you. I will be getting you some tickets to give away on the air to your listening audience.
Good.
And for yourself personally.
Good.
And on the turntable next, we have the Euclid Polka. It's an Al Markic, Jake Zagar song that we really... Well, Art changed a few parts to it, and I know it sets on a little rough edge, but Joey Misculin taught him that, so if you got a beef with it, Al, you got to go see Joey Misculin, because Art just picked it up from Joey.
Well,
And
let me say, Art plays it his way, we played it our way, okay? So that's
why-
the style of the
yeah.
band, and that's what makes the band.
And
So
that's music. It's musical art, and everybody has its own interpretation.
That's right.
That's what makes music so great. And here now is the Euclid Polka.
yeah, and you say we're going to have a group together at Rahar Hall that I want to come to for the reunion.
Absolutely.
I want to see Roger DeBenedict.
Roger DeBenedict will come in from Utah. Roger's been retired from the state of Ohio, and he's living in Utah, in southern Utah. He's going to fly back in for this reunion. He'll be with us for the weekend. And then, of course, Ray Sturley on drums, Bill Tomsic on sax and his wind controller, and Artie Baby on the accordion. Right now, what everybody's doing, pretty much, we're all getting ready. They're all getting ready to retire. Ray will probably retire in about a year. He's been working out of Columbus, Ohio, and he comes home on weekends. And Bill Tomsic works for Pete O'Donnell Construction Company. He built the Dick's Sporting Goods stores, the Kohl's department store, those buildings. And right now, he's involved in a project off of I-271 in the Beechwood area. So Bill is really very busy in construction. He runs the job.
He's been in construction all his life, hasn't he?
His whole life. He is
Yeah.
a certified carpenter. He took the trade up after high school, and he's got a card. He is a carpenter by trade, and he's been in the building business his whole life. He's done a wonderful job, built a lot of great buildings in our area. He's a job foreman, supervisor. He makes it happen. He pulls it all together. Very talented person. not as his day job goes, but as a musician. And you should see some of Bill's paintings. He's a beautiful artist.
Is that right?
Very, very good artist.
You never told me about that.
Bill does watercolors and oils that are just beautiful.
No kidding.
Beautiful.
And I had him on the show here, what, a week ago or so?
Yes,
2 weeks
2 weeks
ago? 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
yeah, and never said anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's holding back. I'll have to talk to Bill. The other thing is I get a Sunday off. I'm going to call you. I want to go for a boat ride.
You got it. I got plenty of room this time. Right?
Yeah, you got a 27-footer.
Yeah, I went up to 27-foot
that's
sea
nice.
there. Between golf and boating, I will have a very joyous summer.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. I want to sell my boat. It's all it's doing is sitting.
I think I have a buyer for you. Maybe.
Good.
I know there's a person that I know that's interested, and I'll tell them to come see Al Markic
Tell him to come and see me.
for the best deal in town.
You'll get a good deal.
Al, you want to go to music?
Sure, let's do that.
Let's grab a song.
Is that my Nancy?
My Nancy would be on this turntable right here.
Oh,
Al.
right here? Okay.
Yeah, it's a song that Chester Budney did years ago, written by Hank Totis, and a great song. And we just banged down this song called My Nancy Polka.
Let's send it out to all the Nancys.
All the Nancys.
My Nancy, I love you so, more than you ever will know. You thrill me, you always will, and I'll never let you go. Your dream is my dream, it always will be. My love is true, can't you see? My Nancy, say that you care, and my love you'll share.
Tell you, my friend Mike Dragas, it's getting close to that time. I want to say thanks very much for coming down today. It's been a great pleasure. I enjoyed your company, and I've learned a few things today.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you tonight at Nottingham Tavern.
I'll be there. You make sure you come down and say hi.
I will.
Okay.
And I thank your audience for listening, and I hope that a few things I said were of interest, and enjoy the music today. Thank you.